I mean, I would be an atheist right now if I hadn't encountered Jesus.
So number one, it doesn't sound like you ever got disillusioned and wanted to leave the church. That you were pretty solid in your faith, but yet there was questions more than that you wanted to know. You never got frustrated and said, "Oh, the heck with it! I want to believe. Hang out with my friends. They don't believe God. They don't want to go to church." But so tell me that. So your
Oh no,
journey.
I definitely thought about leaving. I mean, and frankly, I would have. I mean, I would be an atheist right now if I hadn't encountered Jesus.
Yes.
So, I mean, the
Okay.
thing about it is, look, my parents were people who followed Jesus the best they could. They were fallen, sinful people. I saw up close fallen, sinful Christian leaders and realized that this is very man-made. This is not worth giving my life to.
Yeah.
And I saw that in church after church. Like
Yeah.
the churches, I mean, none of these things are worth giving my life for. But the one thing that I found that really did not seem man-made was who Jesus was. He was greater than all of that. And, I encountered him for real. I mean, I saw him. And there's this point where when you encounter that and you realize that, oh, that's actually what makes sense of the rest of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the church is a man-made thing that somehow God inhabits. I mean, he ordained it and wanted it. I encountered the living God. If I hadn't encountered that, there's no point in this. I would be an atheist, and I would be probably a pretty happy atheist too. It's not like there's some sort of deficiency in that view. I mean, I wouldn't know every answer to every question, but I don't know every answer to every question now either. So yeah, I thought about leaving. I mean, I was raised in a Christian environment. I went to Christian schools, and it was a very, very dead place to me in a lot of ways, because it wasn't always good, you know. And I was a lonely kid growing up, and I was kind of like a fish out of water. And so I didn't find home at the church either. Like, I mean, I was like an Indian kid in very white churches. And even, I mean, you just have to understand, like, these issues of race, I didn't really realize at that time, but they are really important. It is part of how God made us as a very diverse group. We're one family, but we're not all the same. And that tension between our unity as a family and the diversity of who we are is something the church has not done well with, if we're honest with it. I mean, I was in California. We've not done well with it in many places, but particularly here in St. Louis, we have not done well with it. I mean, let's be honest, right? Like, if this is what the church is this really what's worth giving our life to? I mean, let's be serious. No. I mean, if we look even at the very recent history, the church has been far too complicit in things going on here. There's been a lot of progress our city has made towards, recognizing issues that are here and like the scars through our city and the sin that caused it and a desire to fix it. But I mean, give me a break. Some of the most likely places for us to get strong opposition to that progress towards the kingdom of God is places in the church. I mean, that's really frustrating. I mean, I don't like people like that, to be honest, like in a very base way. It just makes me annoyed. I think it's really destructive. But at the same token, what I find in Jesus is actually a way to make sense of that. That actually, not all of us are really fallen. This is not actually the best that's possible. This is a far cry from the kingdom of God. And it's really a product of the fall that even the church ends up being satisfied with this nonsense. Does that make sense? And that gives me some hope to have that dissatisfaction and to realize that that there is this opportunity for something better even in our city. That God invites us to work with him on. He's already put it in the hearts of the non-Christians in our cities too, to crave the kingdom of God too that way and to seek it. And isn't that amazing that he did that? And so we have an opportunity to actually to want that thing that's better. But I mean, you asked me, do I ever want to leave the church? Well, yeah, of course I do, because if I hadn't encountered that living reality and seen that over arching thing that brings it and binds it all together and makes sense of it all, and that person behind it and the goodness of that person, yeah, I mean, there'd be every reason in the world to leave the church.